Hello, guys. Welcome to Riddle Me This. It's Emeli,
Anitha.
and we are going to talk about episode 5 of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. We'll just get right into it. The first couple is Alaina and Caleb. Let's talk about Alaina wanting to have sex and Caleb's honesty. I'll let you share your thoughts first.
Yeah, I was gonna say that she comes off a little bit, persistent. I was gonna say pushy, but very persistent.
Those are her friends. Pushy are her friends, not her.
Right, you're right. I just thought she was very adamant that she wanted like a kiss. I wanted to go from first base to like go whatever base comes after that.
Yes, very persistent. I think that's a pattern that we see a lot in some of the couples on this season.
Oh, I feel like it's knowing that keeping in mind that they've been talking for 13 years. And also so they're moving to long distance. So there is some sort of direction needed. Alaina wants direction, and as a friend, I guess, Alaina, we can see like her friends are very outspoken, and she's very. I don't want to say that she's very conservative, but I feel like that's her friend's job to kind of figure out for her. Like, what are you gonna do with her friends? And I like that. I like that they're protective of her.
I appreciate that. That's
but I was gonna say I also liked when Caleb stepped in, like, hey, this is something that me and Alaina have to figure it out. It's not a 3-way thing, it's a 2-way.
Yeah. I appreciated both of them, like give and take. But I also feel like Alaina should gain the courage to ask those questions herself, because I have a feeling, the questions that her friends are asking, she also is encouraging, like, hey, this is what I've been feeling. Possibly you can mention this in our conversation when you meet Caleb. I don't know. I just hope for more courage on her part, but
absolutely. But I always feel like it's always like in life is always a balance. Like for me, for example, I consider myself an introvert, so I always tend to attract extroverted friends, so they tend to be protective. So I feel like it also can be like something that it balances out in her life. But I understand, I feel like in a relationship you kind of have to have your own voice, especially in this scenario. Like she needs to have her own voice to speak up, like, hey, this is what I want, like, where are we doing, where are we going. But I'm hoping that in the future that can be something that she'll do in the upcoming episodes.
I agree. The next couple was Jasmine and Gino. They were a trip on this episode. The first thing I put on here was Gino as a cash machine, as he had said in the episode. Gino, this episode, he made me proud. I didn't like that scene at the store. I think it was, I don't know, it was awkward, but I really appreciated how he stood up for himself once he heard that $500. I was like, oh, okay. Like, a lot of us, when we go on vacation, we let that blow because it's vacation. He was like, nah, I'm 50. 500 goes a long way. It's the same here as it is in the United States. I'm not playing with that.
Same. I really like, since the first episode when he departed the States to go to Panama, I really was concerning. I was concerned. I was like, oh my God, he won't have his own, he won't have a backbone. I didn't feel like he was going to stood up for himself in front of for what he wanted. And so it was really good to see him do that. But also I can say that the shopping scene was very relatable. I know when I was young, you can just fill out the cart, and when you go check out, you're like, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I left my wallet in the car, and you just go like, yeah, no. So I kind of like the way that they played it out. But of course,
did you notice the like the part where he was in the changing room and he was like trying the outfits, and he had said, I understand that she feels good about doing this because it's not like we're shopping for her. She's trying to. And I'm like, okay, that's a sweet way of like, letting her, I don't know, letting her down, right, or say like, oh,
Right.
There's a different spending habits, you know.
That's a nice point of to look at it. I like that twist, because I feel like, we would, if all those clothes was going, all that money was being spent to her, for her, we would be like, oh yeah, she's a gold digger, but she was actually wanted that money to, to be spent on him, to just, kind of give a little tune up to his look. But also I want to ask, I was like, wait, so the clothes that we saw that he had in his hands, those, they amount to 500. Like, what kind of clothes were, like, they were nothing special.
Maybe the store that they were shopping in was like a Macy's. You know how Macy's is sometimes.
Yeah, but also I think maybe it was like a touristy place, like a tourist shop.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. I was like, 500. I'm sure if I went to like a good Walmart and get the exactly same thing, they will not amount to more than 300.
The next couple we have on here is Memphis and Hamza.
Oh.
Memphis and Hamza. First thing, the sex convo at the cafe Arabic. That's what he said.
Well, I was gonna start off like when, like, when the episode started, when the mom, caught them. It was awkward, but I wish maybe Hamza could have played it off by get off the bed, be like, yeah, no, I'll just, in the morning, I feel like they could have twisted a little bit more, like, yeah, in the morning, we were all awake. I just came here to, to kind of, we're, catching up and stuff like that. But the mom was definitely not having it. And he was trying to pull one on his mom, like, oh no, nothing happened. And his mom was like, really, do I look stupid to you? Like a man. I
love how she brought that in. Like,
a man and a woman are sleeping next to each other, nothing's happening.
Okay. Hey, listen, she knows what's going on.
Right. And then yes, in the scenes later on, we saw them at the Arabic cafe.
But before that, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on the fact that Memphis wanted Hamza to lie to his mom about the fact that they didn't have sex? I want to say 9 out of 10. I would probably say the same thing if I was in her situation. Like, hey, just tell her like we weren't doing anything. But then after seeing the whole episode, I'm like, that's getting used to lying. I don't know.
I just find it hard to see people relying on reality TV. Like a cameraman is there and know that they have confessionals and they talk about that. So it's like, why would you lie if you know the truth is gonna come out? Like, what's the point? Like, just say the truth, because like you already know this is already on tape, So I was not impressed by a lie, but also I can see why they lied. Just to cover up that moment. It's like a little band-aid for a minute until later. But it was just stupid because as we saw, the mom did not buy it. His mom did not buy it at all, and yeah, and then the girl just the scene at the cafe was just like all over the place. So it's like, why would you lie?
Where is the translator? Where are the phones? I've seen she's only used her phone to take selfies. Where is the Google Translate? Like,
I am so disappointed. Like, just in the beginning, just disappointed, like with the lack, like her lack of knowing the culture, the language, and just like an overall, just general. I feel like, if I took a trip to Mexico, at least I would just take Duolingo, the app, that I can just download that and just do like 1 week of just breaking Spanish, just like, greetings and stuff like that. But she's like, I'm American, I'm speaking English, and that's it.
And like you mentioned about like mosque scene, I didn't even notice or catch that when she was like, what is that large building?
Yeah, right. I was like, you don't know a mosque? Like, wow. Very, very, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. I was definitely disappointed.
Yeah, but the scene at the cafe, what did you think about it?
I think there was just a lot that was lost in translation. I thought it was funny. I guess overall, I just thought it was funny. It could have had more depth if there was some translation going on. They could have had much more meaningful conversation about how important intimacy is for Memphis and how his history, the fact that their sexy time didn't go as expected was because he hasn't had sexy time in a long time. I don't know, but we missed all that because they can't use the app. They can't pull somebody aside and see if they speak English and Arabic. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so too. I really am so against her talking about that on TV, knowing that his culture, that goes back to like her not knowing his culture. Because I would not imagine going on national TV, international TV at that, and talk about why did you ejaculate faster? Like, was that your first time? When was the last? Like, all that conversation. Like, it's just it, and you already know that the mom was very conservative, talking about you guys should not have that. So you go ahead and talk a full-blown conversation, all the details. It was disappointing. It was very disappointing.
I think I like what you said when we were watching it. You said she could have done it a different way. Like, we understand that's what she was trying to go at. She could have went it about a different way. Beating around the bush would have been probably the best way of saying, "Hey, when's the last time you?" Or
yeah, you're into
feel about it. Let me. I don't know.
Right. Let me understand exactly what's the reason. Not to ask you, not go direct, because some cultures are very indirect. You being direct is viewed as being, rude or anything like that. But I would say I loved Hamza's response. Like, yeah, she's just too sexy for me. I was like,
period. I like that. I really like that too. He seemed like I can't see any wrong yet from him, other than the fact that he overslept a little too much the first night, but he can't do no wrong. It's too sweet.
That was a perfect response. He's definitely, listen, he won that one. He's like, it's too sexy. And the fact that this man was talking about big
like Memphis, big movie.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. It was funny. It was funny, but it's perfect. The perfect meme to use on this is like Tyra Banks. Like, I was rooting for you because I'm so disappointed the fact that Memphis is prioritizing this sexy intimacy. Well, I won't say intimacy because intimacy can be, defined in different ways. But the fact that she prioritizing sex over, her not knowing the culture, not knowing that if he will be a good fit with her kids, knowing that, how would he blend in when he comes to the US? It's like priorities are a little bit off here.
And I like how you mentioned that because there hasn't been any talk on the fact he's going to be a father if he comes to the US.
Right. He's going to be a stepfather. Well, I mean, it's up to everybody, but it's just like he will be living with his kids and you want to make sure that, hey, how does he act in front of kids? How does he act with kids?
How does he feel about it? Like,
right. How does he feel about it? All so far we've heard is sexy time, sexy time. Sexy time, sexy time, sexy time. Big boobies, sexy time, sexy times. Okay.
At least it's not like Ximena and Mike, who are je t'aime, not je t'aime, tamo. I love you. But yeah.
Perfect segue.
I was about to say perfect segue to Ximena and Mike. Their sexy time. Her reaction to sexy time, she was like, it was normal. It wasn't anything out of the world. That's probably the best of his time or whatever, his life. I didn't notice that he didn't understand the whole thing. He only understood the best of time, whatever. So he translated as like, oh, okay, yeah, she had a good time.
I could tell that he definitely misunderstood because he was grinding. He was like, yes, I scored. I was like, yeah.
Tomato. He was turning into a tomato.
He missed it. He just missed it. The tomato. But yeah, I was something about him is just like a little bit yeah, no. Something about him, it's not normal. But I mean, who is normal?
There was a lot to unpack actually with this couple because after that sexy time, they went on a family vacay. Okay, it seemed like he didn't know what he was doing and he just needed practice. It wasn't like what he had.
And I would imagine the first time, if first time you guys have only communicated through the phone and then they said like, okay, this person is right here. It's a lot of things are not gonna go perfect, So I feel like maybe she definitely gave him benefit of the doubt at that time. But also I could argue that, she knew that she had some news to break. So she had to put an act like, oh my God, let's make out those sessions in the pool. It's like, hey, listen, I have to butter him up because I have to break it down to him like, hey, I can't have kids. So one can argue that was just like
a champ. I was surprised he took it like a champ.
I was not surprised.
He's taking everything like a champ. Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was, I don't know. Actually, the fact that they dimmed the secret made it like when it happened, I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is the right reaction to have, even though to others that would be a big deal.
Right. But I root for her. I really do. I mean, when she's an honest person, like for her to talk about, what happened, like her condition of not having kids or being scared to have babies and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, for some people that's like a break thing, like, just if you don't want to have kids and then that's it, you know. But I also feel like to be honest, I feel like he's looking at her like a prize. He knows that maybe if he's in the States, he won't be able to pull a girl like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be honest, I feel like that can be the case. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll just have to suck it up. I mean, we talked about IVF. Maybe that's an option. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm a little bit ignorant in that department. So I feel like he had to, and I'm glad he did. He did a great job.
I can't wait to see how he takes the next secret, as we saw in the trailer, but we'll cover that on our expectations.
It was like every episode is just another
layer,
another secret. Yeah,
peeling it off. So yeah, that was with Ximena and Mike, and our last couple, Ella and Johnny. The only note that I have for them is at least that it was worth noting was her gym scene where she had said that she was working out to look the best for him. I thought that was quite like, oof, that was sad hearing her say that. And she was like, oh, I hope he appreciates it when he comes here.
Right. And it's really sad because you don't want to get into things like that for people. You don't want to lose weight for another person. Because what if that person does not approve of that? What if you don't get that approval that you're seeking? You go back to your old behavior. So you'd rather do that for yourself, to be healthy, to feel good, to look good, but to do it for somebody else.
And the fact that they're starting on that footing where the weight is the problem, whether he's established that or not, but the fact that we're already starting on that foundation, like, hey, we got to address the weight thing. Once he comes, I want him to know, like, I'm on this journey.
Right.
You're setting yourself for disappointment. That's what she is.
Right. That and also the fact that I feel like their relationship, their foundation is based on looks. They're talking about, dressing up. They're talking about characters. They're talking about, like, it's just like it's based on the physical. So it's
I'd like to see how their lifestyles mesh. Because like you said, it's about the physical. That's what drew them together. How will their lifestyles look like once they're together? Because it's apart from physical, like, your day-to-day lifestyle.
Right. But I mean, he seemed very determined. This guy, he went to a herbal doctor. Was this a natural doctor or something like that? I guess some herbs for her. And, it's, yeah, it's gonna have
to be pooping out that way. I'm sorry. It's giving me hot tummy tea. It's giving me
that works. He may want to trademark that in the US, because I mean, some of us could use some, because I know I could use a couple roots that I can boil and drink. But it's really, and also it was kind of interesting to kind of get more of an insight of his life in China, to see that, his kid, he has a really great relationship with his son, and his parents, and the fact that his first marriage was basically broken apart because of the parents. So it'll be interesting how that work with the if they ever get married.
And I like how he said this situation will be different because who's the translator? He is, and he will make sure the peace is kept within the household.
Exactly. So I like that. So I was like, maybe I had like a little light bulb moment. I was like, that might be
He's onto
that might be
something.
it. Yeah, that might be
He's
it
onto
for
something. But I hope the mother's still in the child's life, because those questions came up to like in my head when he mentioned that the child lives with the grandparents, and I'm wondering, oh well, does the child occasionally visit the other set of grandparents?
True. That's true. Yeah, they haven't talked about her. I'm hoping that maybe they can talk more about her. Maybe we can get a little glimpse of her in the future episodes.
Yeah. Our last segment are expectations and predictions, perhaps. And we can start with Kambali and Usman, since we didn't see anything
Yeah,
actually this
yeah,
episode
they
of
didn't
them.
have time.
On the preview, we saw that Kimbali she was not dealing with these guys trying to hurry up and do this Zara episode. No, not Zara song.
Right. I was gonna say like the previous episode when they had a little sit down with Rosary, with the whole setup, just the whole scene of them sitting down, it appeared that Kimberly was the manager, because like that's how she comes off, because she's older, you know what I mean? So that's what, like, if you just took that picture and show me like, hey, there are two artists in this picture, and a man and somebody else, who's the other person, I would think she's a manager. So for her to literally step in, like, I feel like she was the manager in this next season, you know? It's like she's huffing and puffing, like, oh.
She's applying to be the girlfriend. She might just get the manager job.
and right, and Uzma might keep her around maybe because of her managerial skills.
She was disappointed that he was getting a haircut the day of. I'm like, that is a point, girl. Like, I would be frustrated too, but I would be too focused on going to see what Zanzibar is about. Not, but what do I know?
Yes,
Exactly. We saw a glimpse of Hamza and some more drama stirring the pot. The sister finally came back, and hopefully she can translate what was missed the last episode. But she mentioned the fact that Hamza is turning 27, but Memphis thought he was already 28.
right. I can.
Is that a problem? Is that a big issue? You think?
Right? Is that a big difference? I don't think so. And
So
also,
what
could
I'm
it be?
saying, like within their relationship, do you think that will become like a big problem?
I feel like Memphis is gonna make a big deal, because I feel like she's nitpicking already. She's already like, okay, she's not satisfied in the bedroom. So of course, like, she's already like, oh, okay, first of all, we're not supposed to stay in to spend the night together. So I feel like she's already in like the mode of like picking something out. But also could have been like a language barrier. Maybe he did say that, or maybe he miscommunicated, misunderstood. So I feel like
What if he's using the English keyboard? How are you gonna you say
or
our 7 is an 8? Listen,
yeah, a miracle. Yeah, maybe he could say, like, I'm saying, like, he has that potential to play that off with the language. He's like, no, I meant I'm turning 28. I didn't mean that I'm 28. I'm going to turn 28.
yeah.
But I don't see that being a big difference. But I can also feel like Memphis will definitely blow this up and make it a big deal than it is.
Like you said earlier, it's all about the bedroom. Like, he needs to just work on what's going on in the bedroom. She's gonna be Stevie Wonder to all that. Like 28, 27, 26. Does it make a difference to me?
She could have focused on the age thing the first episode. I don't know what she's talking about, sexy times and
sexy girl. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see that unfold. And then we hear about Alaina. She's spilling the tea on the sexy time that she had with Caleb. I when I saw her giddy face, like when she was like, "Ooh, Elijah," I'm like, "This is giving me high school vibes." Like, girl, get ready to.
She's been anticipating for this moment 13 years, so I guess so. But I would say that, in all honesty, whatever makes her happen, she's a good sport. She's really, I love her sense of humor. I love her personality. So I'm rooting for her. Rooting.
Yeah, I'd like to see how that unfolds, and I would like to see who Caleb goes to also confess his experience with what happened last night.
It will be on TV. Confession.
Oh yeah,
You trade the camera.
The manager. Was it the manager or was it producer? Is it the producer?
We haven't seen him getting in touch with his family back in the States. Like he has not, you know. So it's been interesting. Like you see other. I guess we'll see. But that's what I'll predict that, you know.
Yeah. Ximena's confession of, you know, finally the cartel living with a hitman.
Oh, this man's eyes got so big. I was like,
he's gonna come back.
I was like, are they gonna come back? Is he gonna come back in the
yes, I'm gone.
Listen, I just saw his eyes getting so big, and I've never
listen, I would have gotten out of that pool hot tub trying to figure out, okay, so what's going on? Who is he?
Hopefully they got ADT or something like that, some securities. So with one eye open, and the fact that, you know, I don't know if the hitman, if those kids are from the person that she was referring as a hitman, because it's really about to go down next week. I really am I'm interested to see how that unfolds.
I don't know. I really don't know how I would react if I was him. I would think that I think I would of course freak out, but just like knowing Mike, I'm like, I would be so trying to figure out what? Like, is this real life?
I wouldn't feel safe. Like you're dating somebody and you realize that they've been with the murder. Like, and maybe if you find out that they have a baby, they share a child, I'm just gonna tread lightly.
I think it was the baby daddy, because why would he say, is he going to come for us? Maybe come for the children. Like if we go to the US, he might come and try to get the children.
We got connection. He doesn't even have to come because he's locked up.
I mean, he has connections. I mean, it wouldn't be far-fetched if he found somebody out there. Okay. That's the minute. And then our last expectation or prediction for the new couple. We'll finally get to meet the last couple.
You forgot Gino and
yeah, I didn't see much for about her just
going off. Gym, working out and going off. Is like, why you always protect? Why you always like, you know, protect your like I don't like something about your house or something like that. But I mean, I guess so. It's gonna be same old. She's a little bit crazy, a little bit. Something's a little bit off, I think, you know. It's the fact that she goes crazy and laugh, like she maintains those two things. Like she's angry and smile, like, you know, not even angry and smile. Like when she was describing how she pulled this girl's hair because they burnt, and I mean, I would be pissed off too. But she's like, I was like, wow, you really? It's like a little bit psychotic.
Yeah, I think it's just crazy. It wasn't worth noting because we saw this episode. It's a trend. But I'm excited to meet the new couple.
Yeah. The guy seems handsome.
He seems very handsome but foolish based on his green screen.
Right, he seemed handsome, so I'm hoping. But I mean, I guess the girl would appear to be a little bit younger, so maybe.
And listen, by all that stuff, I'm guessing he's probably sent her bank by how his friends were reacting to him meeting another girl online and him saying it's going to be different again. Man, do I wish I was Mahogany. I'm predicting that he has sent her lots of money either because he said she was too shy. He hasn't been able to say. I would like to know how far or how long they've been dating for.
Dating or talking, because I don't think dating, because they've never even had a video chat. That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying if they were dating, then that would even be more ridiculous. Like you're dating her, you haven't even seen.
Right, or sending money to somebody that you've never actually seen. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one.
Episode
5. We're excited. Thank you guys for reacting with us or listening to our reaction. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.